Hi everyone, it's the Reefer here and welcome to another review video of some of the Maxspect Jump gear that Maxspect has sent over for me to review. So today is the last review in a series of 3. So my previous reviews include the SK400 skimmer and the L165 LED fixture, which you can find on my channel. So please give them a view if you haven't already. So this is the last of 3 videos where I will be reviewing 2 products, which are the Maxspect Jump DC12K return pump and the MJ-GF4K Gyre pump. So we'll do them in that order as well. So we'll start off with the return pump, and then in the second part of the video I'll talk a bit more about the Gyre pump. So to start off with the packaging, I did an unboxing video as well, so you might have already seen it. The new Maxspect Jump gear comes in black and orange packaging, which looks sleek. As you can maybe see on the video, the images of the equipment themselves is a bit shiny as well as the letters on the packaging, so that looks nice. And starting off with the return pump, I'll show it on the picture a bit before showing it to you in real life, because you can see it a bit better on this picture since it's already installed in my sump, of course. So one of the main features, of course, is the body, which looks quite distinguished and different from other products that you might have seen. So the return pump has a kind of jet engine shape, and also the internals are shaped like a jet pump so that it can move a lot of water. So this pump can move 12,000 liters, and I'll be showing it to you inside the sump. So like I mentioned, it's already installed here. It's been running for about a month now, and as you can see, there is a big silicone hose attached to it, which feeds back to the return lines, and then eventually end up in the tank. I'll give you a quick look. So the water goes in from both this end and all the way to the other end right here, which has 2 pieces where the water comes out. So there's 3 pieces, there's 3 places in the tank where the water feeds back into the tank. And like I mentioned, the return pump has a capacity of 12,000 liters an hour, or I think that's 3,000 gallons an hour. That's quite a lot of water that it can feed back, but that's also what I need, since this tank is about a 1200 liter tank, or a 320G. You need about 10 times that in a return pump. So this pump is actually perfect for this tank. And yeah, I've been using it with a lot of pleasure. Of course, a return pump isn't the most sexy thing in your tank. It's one of those things that just needs to be there. It needs to work, it needs to perform, and that is what it has been doing over the past month. So I'll also give you a quick rundown of the controller, of course, which is supplied with the pump. It's a DC pump. It has 3 different modes. So now it's on mode 1 at intensity 20, which is the maximum intensity. So I can actually lower that if you want less output, then you can lower the power. There's 2 other modes as well. I won't try them not to disturb the tank, but they are both a sinus rhythm, so the output will vary over time, and depending on the mode, it will stay there or it will go up and down continuously. So those are the modes. Of course, there's also a feed mode, which you can set for 10, 20 or 30 minutes, so that's a nice bonus. Usually pumps have only 1 feed mode, but this has 3 different ones, so that's pretty cool. And otherwise, well, the controller is well, pretty simple, but it looks pretty sleek, and you can hang it up in your cabinet and it will continuously display the mode that it's in at that moment. So that's most of the stuff I wanted to tell you about this return pump. It's very silent, as you can probably here. Yeah, it's a bit hard to hear with all the other equipment zooming, of course, but you can take my word on it that it's very silent. It has nice looks, and yeah, it does what it needs to do, and I think that's the most important thing about a return pump. You expect it to get the water from the sump back into the tank consistently, and that's what it does. So next we'll move to the new gyre, the GF4K, which is the highest capacity gyre pump that Maxspect has released in their Jump line. As you can also see, there's various other gyre pumps in my tank. I have been using Maxspect gyre pumps for years now. I think for the last 5 or 6 years I have been using them in my previous tank as well. Started off with the XF1XX series, so the 150, and moved up to the 250. So all of these that you can see in this side of the tank, so that's, I'll point to them, that one and those two, those are XF250s connected to an advanced controller or 2 advanced controllers, and on the other side there is the new GF4K pump that you can see right here, which you'll immediately notice looks quite different from the others since there's orange rotors. Don't be afraid if you don't like the orange color. There's also regular black ones included in the package, but I think it stands out a bit, so I just left the orange ones on since they look pretty nice. So the GF4K does a couple of things differently from its predecessors or its normal equivalents, let's call them. A couple of things that I really like, and a couple of things that I think, or actually only one thing that I found which is quite annoying. So let's start off with the improvements. As you can see, there is a magnet on this side of the glass and also on the inside of the glass. Now with the regular gyres, these are in 2 parts. So as you can see right here, there's a big magnet and there's 2 parts where it's connected to the magnet, which makes it harder to clean in between, as you can also see on my glass. So you need to take off the entire gyre to clean it. And with the new GF4K, it's only 1 block, so you can easily clean around it. And that makes the tank look a bit cleaner overall. So I think that's a vast improvement. Also on the controller side, there are some good improvements. I'll show you the controller right now. It's right here. So there's a big bright LCD screen on here, which is already an improvement. Let's see, I'll turn on the lights so it doesn't overcompensate the brightness. So this is really a bright screen, which will also automatically turn off after a few minutes after making some adjustments. But the thing I really like is that it's super clear. So if you look at the older gyres, they have an advanced controller as portrayed here. So it's quite hard to make out the setting that it's on at that time. And even when making adjustments to the settings, it's always a bit of a hassle to run through the small numbers and eventually get it up and running again. What I really like on this new controller is that the numbers are big, the icons are also pretty large, so it's easy to navigate. You can easily set the mode, which there are 5 different modes. I always have it on alternating gyre mode, so it's going forward and backward for an amount of time. And there's also the regular straight mode, the switching mode, and where it goes soft and harder again. So this is the most complicated mode, I think, alternating gyre. So let's talk you through it for a bit. It means that it goes backwards. Oh, let's get it again. For 50% and forward for 70%, and it takes 10 seconds to go from down to up, and it does that. It stays like that for about 6 seconds on the bottom, and then going up, it needs 10 seconds to move from going forward to going backward, and it stays going forward for 20 seconds. So as it is right now, it will it will move to the front for 20 seconds and to the back for 6 seconds, and it takes 10 seconds to go from one to the other mode. So it's very easily adjustable, very easy to read, and overall I think the controller is much better than the normal advanced controllers. Even though, yeah, the big screen you might like it, you might not like it, but I'm a fan. And now it just goes back to the normal mode where it displays how fast it's going at that moment. So as you can see, it's going forward now for 70%. It stays like that for a while until it starts spinning back. So that's the controller. One thing that I didn't like is the fact that with the gyre I bought some extension cables from the pump to the controller, since my setup normally it's inside this cabinet or next to it, and then I have a thing where the cables are going through, and then finally it's going into the tank. So the pumps are quite far away from where I have the controller, which is not an issue in itself, except you need an extension cable if you want to achieve that. So that's also why this gyre is on this far end of the tank. I just simply couldn't move it any further, or the cable would have been too short. Of course, you can buy extension cables, but the one thing I didn't take into account was that the extension cables for the Maxspect Jump gyre pumps are different from the regular gyre pumps. So that's definitely something to take into account. If you want to use an extension cord, you cannot use the regular ones. You will need to buy one that's specifically for the Maxspect Jump series. So it's not a big issue, but you need to know, because otherwise you might end up disappointed. So considering flow, the Maxspect Gyre 4K, so this one, performs similarly to the other gyres, so I haven't noticed any difference with regards to the normal gyre pumps. It does what it needs to do. It is very silent. I think it's easier to hear this one since it's on the far end of the tank. And it's virtually silent. So that's something I really like about this pump, that it's all the gyres have been pretty silent for me, although they get somewhat louder if you don't clean them for a while. So be sure to clean them every month or every 2 months, depending on what you like. Other than that, it's a great pump, so it's a great value for money, since it basically performs the same as the somewhat more expensive Maxspect gyre pumps, but then again it pumps out a lot of volume, and the controller is super easy to use and to read. So I can definitely recommend the gyre pump as well as the return pump that I showed you earlier in this video. So I'm actually very glad that Maxspect has supplied me with these two pumps, since they are doing a very good job in keeping this tank up and running. As you can see, the tank is going dark for a bit, since it's already 8 p.m. So the lights are dimming at the moment, and the fish are eagerly awaiting their food. So it's time to wrap up this video and start feeding some fish, otherwise they might get impatient, which they already are, I presume. So thanks for watching. I hope it's quite a long video since I've done a review of two products. I hope you liked the video, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. So thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a great weekend. Bye bye.